Hello my crafty friends, it's Krista here from Second Chance Creation. First of all, I apologise for not being here more often. It's been really busy and it's just a matter of making time to do my crafting in my garden. And I've got a fairly big garden, half an acre, and just needed to spend some time in there planting seedlings and all the spring sort of chores that you do ready for the summer. And we're going to get quite a bit of rain as well. So, but I wanted to share with you, and I might even do a garden tour down the track, just so you see what, what I've been up to out there, which is another part of my crafting, isn't it? So I've made myself a different layout this time, and I've put this piece of paper under this fabric so I can see when I make a video, it's not going to go out of frame. And so I'm hoping that's okay. So I'm sharing a couple of listings that are going into my shop, but I have been crafting at night time. I've been doing quite a bit, so I've got lots to share, but I thought if I do these listings first, I know some of my friends are eagerly awaiting the journal I've just made, so I might just start with that first. So, of course, it's the shoe journal, and we all know about lost shoes, don't we? Most of us know about the lost sock. There's always one sock, but what about a shoe? So I thought, oh, it'll be a bit of fun, and I've had fun making this a little bit different. It's a smaller style journal, but it's got a lot of goodies in it. And as you can see, it's, not a crocodile mouth, but a lot of texture and a lot of things going on, even a vintage shoelace in there. And so, but like I said, it's a smaller journal, but it's got, it just feels really cool. So here she is, the shoe, the lost shoe. And I'll go through how I made the dangle. But first of all, I've had this really upholstery fabric, and I still have a little bit of it. And what I've done is I've made it a hidden spine as well. And then I had this, I think it's taffety fabric. And I thought, well, they probably used that in the early days, and I made it sort of like a little bit colourful because some of the dresses were quite pretty. I have some images out of my book that I can use, and this was of a top, okay, and I've had this for quite a while. This is from a magazine that I chopped up quite a while ago of a shoe. So yes, and it's stitched and sewn, a little bit of coffee dyed pretty lace, and I've actually chalked her. Okay, this has all been chalked to give her that pink come through instead of just being black and white. I've made it frayed so it looks a little bit grungy. A tie is tied on, and I've got this really cool vintage button here. And the dangle, and I've used one of these attachments, okay, so you can take these off with the bulb pin, and I'll just take this one off. This one is made from one of my skins that I made quite a while ago, and I had a strip left, and I thought, what a cool idea to make it look like a boot. Okay, I'm just going to see to make sure I'm in frame. Yes. To make a boot out of it. And I got this pattern from, I can't remember now. I think someone gifted me a page with boots on it. And I took the pattern off that. So, which was, I've made a little template. And I just done the holes with eyelets, and I used quite a few eyelets. I wanted to use black ones, or grey ones, or brown ones, but I didn't have enough, so I used some green ones because the shoe is green here on the front cover. And I used some black elastic, and this is just of a necklace. And I've kept this hollow because in here is a scroll, The History and Evolution of Shoes. It's quite a long story, which I won't go through. And I do believe it started with the prehistoric times, which is, you know, 1250 BC. I think it was the Egyptians that made the thong or something, but anyway, so I'm not really that good in history, so I've just got this, and I googled it, and I've just popped that in there. I mean, how cool is that? And I've just popped a bowl pin on here so you can take that one off. And then this one I've made out of book pages, so you can take these off. And this is of a necklace, okay, and I've put a little eyelet in there, and I've made it so it's a tag so you can write on it, okay. This is my collage of book pages. I make quite a lot of big sheets that I can use whenever I want to make a tag or use it as a background, and just use I cut up a pretty little trim here, and I'll turn that around so that you see the design. Yeah, this was a really pretty necklace, this. And I'll just put this back in, okay. So these are the ones that are on the spine. I'll leave them off for the time being because they will get in the way, and I'll just put them here. But yeah, so you've got this little closure just to hang them. I don't know what you call them, the little rings. So yeah, so I've done a fair bit of layering, as you can see, and so let's venture in, shall we? And I just love this buckle. I have a couple of these. Some were quite big, but this is a really old button. It came out of a friend of mine's grandmother's sewing box, and so yeah, so she's kept all these buckles. So as you can see, I've lined it with this cool scrapbook paper that I had, paper pad that I bought quite a while ago, and in here I've got I've made an envelope, okay. And I saw this from Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah, and envelope notebooks, okay. And I used my Franken papers to make the envelope, so you can see all the different collages here. The front I've made a little pocket with some little faux stamps and a little shoe, a little piece of embellishment, just a doily, another bit of jewellery, and a safety pin there. And you open it in here, and you've got the bookmaker's note in here. And then I've popped on some a paper pad, just various pages. This is part of my Franken paper, and a little tag. And this might be a swatch, you know. Here's the piece that was on my cotton reel. This is some of my skin and sort of fabrics that I thought that they might use as either for inside of the shoes or boots. So that just goes back in here. And of course, I've been going madly using my envelope punch, which I now have, which I never tend to use for some reason or another. So here I've used my Franken papers, okay, and I've sewn on a piece of gel printed cloth, which I purchased from a little Etsy store here in Australia, Stella. So thank you, Stella. Where is I mean, you can, you know, I suppose I could, just bear with me, I suppose I could, you know, ink it myself or stamp it, but I like to support some of these little Etsy stores. And this is Stellas Scrappy Crafts. I'm going to leave her link below. And just mention that, you know, I've sent you over there bit of more Franken paper, and here's just some leftover bits, that shoes that you can ride on, and it sort of gives you a little bit the shillings Ladies 10 lace shoes. Oh, geez. Okay, and this is the other part of the envelope, and I've popped on a piece of crochet cotton so that you can just close that up. Okay, I think it's a great idea. I couldn't believe it when I watched Tina's video. Okay, I used some of my vellum pieces to make a pocket as a tag, and also this is an envelope, and again some original receipts, and then I photocopied another one. Okay, Schultz Shoe Shop. And I got this from a lady on the Facebook group Junk Journals, Junksters Down Under. I'm going to see if I get the link for her Etsy, I think she has a YouTube channel. I'll pop it in the description box below. Here I've made a fabric flip from that beautiful upholstery fabric, which could also be the inside, you know, cover of a shoe. Here's an invoice with a piece of my skin on there, pretending that it was a piece of leather, of course, you know. It's being shipped over. Ladies and gents, fine shoes. And because it's got here, shoes are manufactured from leather, I thought, how cool would that be in there? Coffee dyed pages and lightly inked. Made a little index booklet. This is, I've had this for such a long time. If you're ever in need of a little moral support, call on me. I'm fairly moral. Moral support, oh dear. Obviously silk stockings, and this is an original piece of stocking. I used to wear quite a few stockings in my days when I was working the real estate, and they all ended up in my garden shed. I use them as ties for my plants, so I rushed out there and cut a piece off to use in here. Bit of waxed wrapping paper. And this journal is not too much with laces. It's mainly fabric and braids, and I think, and buttons, and I think that's what they used on the shoes, you know. So that's what I used in this journal. Here's a little repair ticket, obviously getting her heel fixed, and she's waiting and waiting for a phone call. Canola paper here, Piola paper. Here's another piece of invoice that I've printed out. Leisure footwear. Here, the background is my collage papers, and I've just cut out a little shoe. And this is a piece of velvet, so maybe this was like a velvet covered shoe, you know, who knows. Love this. There was a woman who lived in a shoe, and I got this from a paper pack. And I just cut it up just to use it on this page, and use some of this pretty ribbon. And some more of the shoes stitched on. Did a lot of fair bit of stitching. Here I've just used a little pretty little piece. It was just floating around and it just got on my nerves, and I thought, right, I'm going to use you. They might have used it, you know, it might have been a petticoat or something, and who knows. So yeah, so I just used it in there. I just felt like it had to go in there. Now here I've had this is from one of my own books, and I've actually cut these out, and I've made them put them on a brad, and you can journal on these. They're all little they're shoes. I think that they could be ladies' shoes or men's shoes. And of course, they must have ordered some shoelaces, okay? And this is a really old vintage shoelace. I got this about 2 years ago in a recycle shop, made in Australia. Champion lace, the Champion lace. I doubt if they still exist. So it's an original shoelace you can use. I thought that was pretty cool. And that just goes in here. I hope I can put this back in here. Just in here. And that just goes in here. And this is of the Champion shoelace as well, because I used it for the bookmark, pen bookmark, which you'll see later on. Okay, and I've just left that so you can journal on this if you wish. Here I've had a piece of vellum that was floating around. I've just made that into a pocket. And another receipt or invoice. It's from just a normal magazine. They might be going to a wedding. Maybe they lost a shoe. Who knows? Here I've made a fantastic tag. I love this. I used my collage paper, did a bit of stamping, and I do believe this came from Daphne's Diary, I think. Oh, probably a couple of years ago, I can't remember. And yes, and I just put on a piece of my embossed bit of corrugated cardboard on there as well, and just used some twine and some embroidery thread and a button, and backed it with some brown paper, which happens to be the paper bags from Woolworths, shopping bags. Okay, and they're all dressed up. Here's a shoe. And of course, some of you might remember I've made some little paper ruffle page tabs, and then whatever I had left over I used as a flower and popped on a button, because they've probably, yeah, they have used buttons on shoes and whatever. This is from my stash, and I just coloured in her dress to match the shoe. There again, she's lost a shoe. She can't find her shoe. This is this piece here, and here you'll see my 3 shoes that I actually cut out, and you'll see some of these shoes in here that I cut out as well, and I've just put that in there for you to journal on. This is an altered paper clip, and we'll see that in the back. This is very grungy. It's piece of a zipper, a chain, a coin, and a piece of a necklace. Okay, zippers they use on boots, don't they? And an old safety pin, so they might use some decorations on their boots, but I've just made it into a backed it on some really fabric, some hessian little ruffle, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You can use it as a paper clip. And then on the back here I've made a cabinet card, and this is just packaging. Okay, you can still see the barcode on there. I've left a few bits and pieces, the originality, so you can see what I recycle. This is genuine leather, and I've just stitched on some buttons. So he obviously has some shoes, leather shoes. Okay, he's posing for a photograph. I don't know whether he looks happy or not, but you know, he's in there. Some cardstock, and here I've just, look, she's waiting for her shoe repairs, and here's some more shoes, and this is the template I used to make my shoe dangle. Okay, and the vintage, it's got here, uncomfortable shoes are an old story with women. So true. I used to wear uncomfortable shoes, even when they were tight constrictive corsets and skirts. They covered their feet. They wore tight, narrow shoes because the flash of a small, neat foot was considered seductive. Oh, yeah, right. The pain, the pain, the pain. So, here you go. She's waiting. This is just a tag I made. Again, packaging paper. My collage papers, embossed papers, scrapbook paper, and just a photo out of a magazine, and I did a bit of stamping. Very simple. I love making these. And we get to the next page, and here you'll have a bookmark that is, of course, that holds, yes, this one is a new pen, a pen holder, okay? So you can use it as a bookmark. The centre of the signature, and I've just put in this beautiful piece of ruffle. Here you've got a vellum flip, okay? Bit of stitching. I've left the threads. Now, if the threads are in the way, please cut them off. Bow and a piece of applique. Now, this girl here does not need any shoes. Nope. She does not want to wear any shoes because she's going swimming, of course. Just a picture out of a magazine, and I've just stitched it onto some paper pads, scrapbook paper, and another piece of my skin, and I've just punched a couple of holes in that, make it into a tuck. Another piece of the fabric, they might use as linings in the shoe. Here, this might be a little sample swatch, you know, the place in Melbourne, various little snippets there, and that's just a little flip, and this is a little flip down. Another lovely little tab. There you go. She's waiting for a phone call. Why? she's lost a shoe. I mean, these ladies keep losing their shoes. So, you know, don't know what the story is there. I know about losing socks, but these ladies keep losing their shoes. Another paper. This is a really old vintage button, this. Love it. I think I've only got about 2 left of those. This is a Band-Aid. This came out of a 1950, I think, 1950 old magazine. Still had the shillings in there, nylons. And here's another piece of my nylon stockings. Okay. This is probably, you're talking 10 years. So they've kept pretty well, haven't they? When I was in real estate, I wore nylon stockings. I just love the feel of them. Even though when on a hot day, you know, you do an open house and show people through. You know, you're in your black suit and whatever, and a skirt and jacket and all the corporate stuff. And, you know, I had to wear, well, I didn't have to. I wore black stockings as well. But I just love the feel of these nylon stockings. And or pantyhose, I think they call them there. They weren't stockings. So yeah, so this and I used to go through one pair 2 days. I kept ruining them. It's just unbelievable. Here's another altered paper clip. Now this was, I was inspired to make these by Angie and the Mountain Girl. So I'm going to leave Angie's link to her channel below. Oh, amazing artist. She has followed me and I have followed her ever since I started YouTube, which was I think 2018 or something like that. Might even be 2016, I can't remember. And this was a belt. And I've just popped that on there, just a cluster. And, you know, you can see the paper clip on the back, but, you know, that's just the way it is. And I've left the threads there. And here I've made a little Constantine paper bag as the centre of this signature. And this holds some really cool old vintage movie star snippets. This one is fill these pages. It's a bit of colouring of shoes. I'll leave it a surprise. I won't open it up. Okay. And then on the back here, I have my altered playing card. Again, this one is backed onto my collage papers as a background. Bit of fabric and an old button. Could be off a shoe. Okay. And this is from a magazine. And you can see the little shoe with flowers there. I've just backed it on another book page and then glued it onto this altered playing card. Okay. And that just pops in there. Here I've got a beautiful piece of velvet trim. And, you know, they probably used that in the early days. Little another little cluster here. Cut it off a boot. I didn't use any digital in this kit, thank goodness. And some braid. Now these threads here, oh, they are, you're going to laugh about this, all the threads I took off to fray this fabric. So you got black and gold, and that's what these were, okay? And I didn't want to throw them away. They look pretty cool. You've got a little line here because I did have it like this, so you can keep it like this if you like, okay? Or you can keep it open. It's up to you. This is a very old piece of newspaper. It's from, this was in my paper pack that I actually bought from a local Etsy store. I think it was from Grace as well, so it's pretty old. You can see it's torn. I won't undo it totally, but you can use that, maybe use it for collage or something. And another piece of beautiful braid, another shoe. People just losing their shoes. There's always one shoe here, and a little flip, and another little tab. Here I've made a little pocket, and this is from baking paper. I found some brown baking paper, and I'm just going to show you. Let's put this in here so I know where I am. Which is this one. I mean, how cool is that? when I found, I didn't even look at it. Like, I just bought it for the kitchen. When I opened it up, I'm going, oh, compostable brown paper. You can put in your mulch bin. I'm going, no, it's coming in my craft room. All right. So, yeah, so that's what that is made from. And I've popped a little altered ticket there, a little bit of a fabric, grunged up fabric, and it holds this little tag. It's one of my stamps, and I've sewn it onto a piece of my Franken paper, made it into a little tag. It just goes in here. And look, another shoe, probably needs a repair, black stockings and the shoe. Another piece of beautiful braid. Another piece of beautiful braid. And here we go, black stockings. And yes, look at that. These were black stockings, okay? And some normal stockings, okay? Sheer stockings. And some mesh stockings, yes. I had to raid my bin in my garden shed to get some of these stockings. And of course I washed it. And so, yeah, so, and that's just for sale. Black stockings, never cracked or faded. Well, I won't go there. Here we have a flip, and you have another Schultz Shoe Shop receipts here. And I've made a copy so that you've got another extra one in there. And this is just a vellum piece that I've attached to this scrapbook paper and made it into a pocket. Okay, really, really pretty. And then you take that out and you can write on that, and you can write on this as well. Okay. Last page, I did this is a napkin, and I did a bit of covered that, and this is from a tapestry book. And in here is a very old piece of dictionary paper, and because it's so fine and brittle, see, I might tape this up actually. I'll leave it out and I'll tape this up. Description of shoe and boots. I thought, how cool was that? So I'll tape this up so that it won't fully come apart. You might want to use it as a collage. You open that up, and here's a piece of my Franken paper, and it's made into a flip. Okay, and this is from a storybook. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, open the door. This is of a sleeve, from a sleeve, and it's got the button here and a keyhole. So just pretend that, he was buckling up his shoe. And that's the end. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed this one. And it's probably past my time. I don't think I can share this one. This is going in my listing as well. But let's do this one first, okay? So this is the lost shoe. And this will be in my Etsy store. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. I really enjoyed this. This is a small journal. It only has, I think it only has 13 pages, 12 pages, 2 signatures, and but it's jam-packed with all the other bits, so the price will reflect the size. So, all right, so I'll leave you with this one, and I'll see you in the next video because I have lots to share. And have a great day if you're in Australia on Sunday, and otherwise have a great day anywhere else. Bye for now.